Hi, welcome to Everyday Parenting Solutions' first webinar ever. We are so excited you could join us. I wanted to make a few brief introductions before we get started. If you hear things in the background, you'll know who the voices belong to. We have Amy, who's our wonderful videographer. She's our tech support. She manages our social media. We wouldn't be able to do this without her, so thank you, Amy. Then we have Susan, our director of Everyday Parenting Solutions. She's a board certified family life coach, and we're thrilled that we're conducting this in her beautiful home. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to Everyday Parenting Solutions' first webinar. We are so excited to have you join us for this special event. I thank you for signing in, and I hope as we go along, if you agree with something or you want to respond, go ahead, and if you'll just use your first name in the comment box, that would be great. And that sort of helps us know what's resonating with you. So thanks for doing that. Before we get started, I just wanted to provide you with a quick overview of what you can expect. You can see it on the slide. You're going to leave with an understanding of what growth mindset is and why it's important. You're going to learn how to help your children obtain growth mindset. Hopefully your children are ages 4 to 11. You're going to leave with the tools you need to help your children apply growth mindset, grit, resiliency, and the power of yet to the upcoming school year. And our 45-minute presentation is followed by 40 minutes of questions and answers. So you might want to just jot down things as you hear them, or if you have a question, and that way you'll be ready for our Q&A. Before we begin discussing growth mindset, I wanted to tell you a little about Everyday Parenting Solutions. Everyday Parenting Solutions is committed to helping parents and teachers navigate today's challenges, raising our children with a compassionate and a common sense approach. We are here to help you. We are here to support you. We offer a variety of classes to parents, educators, teachers, family members. We do webinars. We do consultations. Like I said, we do classes, and we also are happy to come visit in person. So our job is to support you and help you be the best parent that you can be. I've always been optimistic and looked at the glass half full. Growing up in a supportive and loving home, I was surrounded by positive messages, which included, but were not limited to, always do your best, never give up, if at first you don't succeed, try again, and always, always do your very, very best. That being said, I was exposed to and benefited from growth mindset long before it became a trend. So thanks, Mom and Dad. Little did I know at the time these positive messages would have such an impact on my personal and professional life. What exactly is growth mindset, and what does it mean? Have you ever wondered why some children shy away from challenges and crumble at the first sign of a struggle? Maybe your child has a history of quitting activities, sports, or schoolwork when they don't excel. Of course, we need to keep in mind the importance of different ages and stages of children in regard to their growth and development. Maybe years of struggles or a few bad experiences have convinced your child that he or she is not good, and I say that in quotes, at a particular subject or an activity. You want to teach your children to never give up, to make the most of their mistakes, to embrace challenges, to develop grit and become resilient? If so, then you are at the right place. Growth mindset encompasses this and so much more. Learning about fixed and growth mindsets will help you and your child change destructive patterns, allowing your child to lead a happy, self-fulfilled life full of lifelong learning and limitless potential. The term growth mindset can be attributed to Dr. Carol Dweck, a well-known Stanford University psychologist, who found that people's beliefs about their intelligence differs. Her research revealed two very different types of mindsets. Some people believe their intelligence and abilities are static and unchangeable. In other words, you're born with a certain amount of intelligence, and you can't do much to change it. This thought process is what's called a fixed mindset. Let me share an example from my personal life to illustrate a fixed mindset. Math has always been challenging for me, and I find myself avoiding tasks which involves numbers because, to be honest, I'm not comfortable or confident with them due to my fixed mindset that I'm simply not good at math and I never will be. It didn't help being told when I applied to tech that I had the lowest math SAT score ever, even lower than that of a football player. The director of admissions really did tell me this. However, mindsets can and do change. And oh, by the way, they did accept me and I did graduate. Recently, I asked a friend to show me how to play Sudoku. This was really stretching my comfort zone. He took the time to explain the rules and he showed me how the game worked. Much to my surprise, I successfully completed a beginner level game and proudly told everyone I knew about my success. I can do it. This is a good example of a fixed mindset changing to a growth mindset. Dweck's research findings revealed a person with a fixed mindset may avoid challenges, give up easily, ignore suggestions from others, feel threatened by other people's successes, spend a lot of time, effort, and energy trying to appear as smart and as capable as possible. Can you think of anyone, whether it's a child, a student, a friend, a colleague, perhaps yourself, who currently has a fixed mindset? In sharp contrast, Dweck found that some people believe it's possible to change, grow, increase your intelligence through effort. This is what she refers to as a growth mindset. I have another personal story to share with you, which I'd like to elaborate on. My daughter, Eliza, has given me permission to do so. This is Eliza and her slide, the big prize. As a very young child, Eliza was diagnosed with a variety of learning differences. She spent exorbitant, and I do mean exorbitant, amounts of time being tutored and attending occupational therapy and physical therapy. In fact, when she completed her college applications, she asked me if she could list her extensive tutoring under extracurricular activities. We went back and counted the hours she had been tutored, and we were not at all surprised to find the grand total exceeded 1,000 hours. Now keep in mind, that's K through 12. During this time, her younger sister would often comment on how hard Eliza had to work and how much time she spent on schoolwork or going back and forth to tutoring. My response was, Eliza has grit, and this is all she knows or will ever know. And in fact, that's not a bad thing. Grit is the term coined by Dr. Angela Duckworth, the grit guru. Duckworth defines grit as perseverance and passion for long-term goals. She believes grit is a predictor of long-term success. Let's return to my Eliza story. As a result of Eliza's grit, she graduated with honors from college last year with a degree in social work. Currently, she's working as a social worker, and she could not be happier. She is the best example of growth mindset I can think of. Her dedication, determination, and drive have paid off. Dweck found that a person with a growth mindset may embrace challenges, have a strong work ethic, and never give up. Learn from the feedback of others, become inspired by other people's successes, believe their intelligence can change if they work hard, have grit, and be resilient. Can you think of someone you know with a growth mindset? Again, maybe yourself, a child, a colleague, a partner. Excuse me. Research shows that our brain acts as a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger and smarter our brain becomes. This is why crossword puzzles and Sudoku are popular with older people. And this is what helps us become resilient. Resilience, bouncing back. Think about how you bounce back from a challenge. Does it take a long time? Does it take a short time? Do you end up with a smile? Moving on, we ask the question, why are mindsets important? We're just going to pause for a minute, and if you'll just stop and reflect what resonates with you thus far, or if you're writing down a question or two, literally I'm going to count maybe to 5 or 6 slowly, and then we'll continue. and I'm going to grab a drink of water. Having a fixed or a growth mindset has huge implications when it comes to motivation. For example, if children have a fixed notion of intelligence, they most likely believe success has a lot to do with talent. They may think some individuals are born with the ability to experience success while others are not. In addition, they may view successful people as possessing some sort of unattainable gift. It is not at all surprising the side effect of a fixed mindset is a helpless, apathetic attitude towards effort, especially when it comes to challenging tasks. It's no surprise that these individuals lack grit and are not resilient. In contrast, the belief intelligence can change and grow better, better equips children for challenging tasks and difficult subject matter. If they know they can develop their abilities, effort, and dedication, which are crucial for success, then they will not become frozen by challenges. Growth mindset creates a love of learning and a resilience, which is absolutely essential for achieving goals. Teaching your children a growth mindset could be the most important lesson they ever learn. You are your child's first teacher. And guess what? Developing a growth mindset starts with you. Keep in mind, your child's mindset not only influences their behaviors, but also impacts their motivation and achievement. Parents often wonder, what can they do to change their child's mindset from a fixed one to a growth one? Rest assured, it can be done. Mindsets can be changed. There are specific strategies which you can begin using right away over time, which will result in improvements in your child or children's behaviors. These strategies include, so I'm going to find my slide, focusing on the process as opposed to the product. Instead of your child saying, I'm not good at this, coach him or her to say, what am I missing? If your child says, I give up, I'm not good at that, I'm done, perhaps you can coach your child to say or learn, I'll use a different strategy, or what can I do to make this work? I can't make this any better. Again, coach that child to think, I can always improve, or what can I improve? How can I be better? I made a mistake. I think this is my favorite one. Mistakes help me learn. Mistakes are great tools for learning. I happen to be an early childhood educator, and we say over and over and over, again, that this is the place to make mistakes. That's how we learn. And there are opportunities for growth. Failure is not a negative. We just try not to fail at the same thing over and over. I saw the acronym FAIL the other day, and I love it, that failure or failing means first opportunity at learning. So don't give up, keep trying. The other thing you can do is remember there's a difference between not knowing and not knowing yet. Here's an example. Maybe your son or daughter, ages 4 or 5, is trying to ride a tricycle or even a bicycle. And the child gets frustrated and gets off the bike and throws it down and says, I'm done, I'm not doing it. I don't like this, it's hard. Give them a minute to take a breath and talk about yet. You're working really hard. I'm really proud of your effort. You know what? Maybe you're just not there yet. Maybe your legs aren't long enough. Maybe you need to practice balancing. But instead of I can't or I don't want to, perhaps you can use the power of yet. And that's a biggie. The other thing you can do is when you're talking to children, instead of saying, what did you do today? What did you learn? How was school? Think about this. What did you do today that made you think hard? What happened today that made you keep on going? What mistake did you make that taught you something? I think that's my favorite one again. What did you try hard at today? What did you work on that you're proud of? What can you do, or what did you do to challenge yourself today? What will you do to solve this problem? Again, all great, great questions to develop a growth mindset in children. We want to ask open questions, not closed questions. And I'm sure as parents, we've all heard, what did you do in school today? Nothing, or I can't remember. But when you phrase it this way, you're going to get a much, much different answer. It's kind of a paradigm shift. It's changing how you think. But I guarantee over time you will get great results and great answers. So there are little things we can do, again, to focus on growth mindset parenting. We can model a growth mindset in our everyday actions at home. So again, we need to talk the talk and walk the walk. Our children are always watching us. They're always listening, even when we think they aren't. So keep that in mind. If you are cooking a great souffle or using a new recipe and it doesn't turn out, instead of, that's it, I'm not a good cook, I'm not trying again, use it as an opportunity for growth. Let your child see you making a mistake and learning from it. The next thing is encourage effort and perseverance over intelligence and talents. Smart is something we attain. Certainly we're all born with individual gifts, sort of on a continuum of varying levels, but effort is really important. Think of the little engine that could. Never gave up, and it kept saying, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. But I've got to come back. I do have a slide that I'll show you about that in a few minutes. The other thing is we all have big hills and mountains to climb. So what's yours? What are your children's? What are you going to do to climb it? And how can you use growth mindset to make that a reality? Help your child actively solve problems instead of reacting to them. Mom, Susie took my shovel or my bucket from the sandbox. So I would just look at them and smile and say, what do you want to do about it? How can you solve that? It's so easy as parents, and I struggle with this all the time. We love our children. We want to protect them. We want to do for them. But if we keep solving their problems, they're never, ever going to learn to solve their own. So what do you want to do about it? How can you solve it? And let your child figure it out. It might not turn out the way he or she intended or the way you intended, but you've got to keep practicing it. It's a great lifelong skill. Give feedback without criticism or judgment. Your child comes to you a little older. Mom, you know what? We had a spelling test today. I didn't know. So are you going to say, how could you not know? We write these things down. What were you thinking? Were you not paying attention? I would just say, you know what? What do you want to do? So next time, there's going to be a spelling test. Again, the more responsibility we give our children, again, in a developmentally appropriate manner, given their age and stage, the better. One of my favorite quotes, and this is not from me, and I wish I knew who to credit, but it says, never do for a child what he or she can do for himself. So the sooner we start teaching this skill, the better off and more independent our children will be. Another one I love for growth mindset parenting, choose specific actions to praise. I work on this a lot as a teacher. A child will draw a picture and come to me and say, Mrs. Zemer, do you like it? Or what do you think? And my response is I take a deep breath and I smile and I say, tell me about your picture. What do you think? So it gives them the ownership. Again, I'm happy to validate, but I want to know, or I might say, are you proud of it? Or what do you like best? Or tell me about it. Tell me why you chose those colors. Again, it's having that child own it and really kind of think a little more about it. This one, provide opportunities for your child to be challenged. Don't be afraid of stretching, especially as they get older. And if they're interested in a certain class, that's advanced and you think it might be too hard, well, you know what? You don't know that until you try. So don't snuff your child out because he or she wants to stretch a little more. Again, you've got to balance that. But I think sometimes the more a child can be challenged in a healthy, developmentally appropriate manner, it does have many great results. And the last one, the last do's, emphasize your child's ability to grow in all things. So I always said, if we think of children as sort of a seed packet, you turn a seed packet over and there are directions on how much water and how much sun and when to plant them and how to tend to them. Our children, at least mine didn't, they don't come with directions. We have to figure it out. And what we do for one child might be very different what we do for the other. So you're going to focus on your child's ability to grow. Again, praise that process, but there's always room for growth. So now we have the growth mindset parenting don'ts. Don't model a fixed mindset in your own life. We talked a little about that with cooking. Don't react to problems negatively. Sometimes you have to stop, take a deep breath, and reflect. Every problem is a chance to grow. Every problem has a solution that when you stop and think about it can be created. And let your child help you solve those problems to the best of their ability. Don't allow your child to make excuses for poor work. I was tired, Mom, or I had too much to do. We want to teach responsibility and accountability. Don't give non-specific praise. For example, great job, or you did a good job. You'd be more specific and say, I really like the effort you put forth, or I really like how hard you worked picking up trash, out of the yard, or I really like the time you spent picking up your toys, and here's the kicker, putting them away in their proper places where they belong. The more specific you can be, the more that child's going to be accountable. Don't allow your child to avoid challenges because they're scared of failing. Remember, failures are first attempt at learning. Challenges help make us stronger, and again, think of ages and stages of your children. And please don't do this. Don't criticize your child for making mistakes. This is the place to make mistakes. We learn from them. There are opportunities for learning. Your child already feels bad enough about that mistake. And your child's probably thought long and hard about telling you about that mistake. So the best thing you can do for growth mindset parenting is to stop, take a deep breath, and listen to your child. Let your child do the talking. If you think you're going to react in a negative way, or you feel yourself getting mad, you know what? I'm not able to be the mom or the dad that I want to be for you right now. I need to take a break, meaning you, the parent, and let's talk about this when I can give you, the time that I want to give you. That's perfectly fine, but you do need to return and loop back to that. Oops, I'm going to go backwards a little before I go forwards. Okay, so we talked about that. Let's move forward. We talked about the do's. We talked about the don'ts. I feel like I forgot. Yes, we did all that. Okay, guess we're moving a little faster than I would have thought. The other thing is, let's focus on the can'ts. It's not what we can't do. What can you do? Mom, I can't climb the tree. What can you do to make that possible? Or what can you do? Mom, I can't clean up my room. How can you clean that up if I set the timer for 5 minutes? So again, you're focusing on the positive. You want your children to know that they're being heard, but you want to, again, focus on the positive, the cans versus the cannots. So sharpening your back to school skills by adopting a growth mindset. It's that time of year and we're all getting ready to go back to school, myself included. I walk down the aisles of Target and I just get so excited. And I see the markers and I see the crowns and it's like Christmas. And my friends and family members look at me like, oh my gosh, but I'm really excited, I have to tell you. And the smells of all those great things. So I was trying to think, what would be a good way we can use what we know about growth mindset to set our children up for success? And again, we have to keep in mind ages and stages, but it's time to make things happen. Again, you're going to think, how old is the child you're talking about? So some examples I have are maybe a 4-year-old is a little nervous about going to preschool. Maybe he or she hasn't had that experience, or maybe your child's really, as I call my youngest daughter, Velcro. They stick to you, they love to be with you, they love to spend time with you. So what can you do to set your child up for success using growth mindset to start a new year? My thought is, why don't you make a plan to sit down with him or her? And one of my favorite books is called The Kissing Hand. And children's literature is absolutely a great resource for growth mindset. And actually, I'm going to provide you with a list of resources tomorrow and a list of talking points. So you can just sit back and relax. But if you read The Kissing Hand, and your child's probably heard it before, but you can never hear a good book too many times. And as I tell the children I teach, every time they hear a story, it's always different, because no two people read a story the same, at least not that I've experienced. So, for example, you have a 4-year-old that's a little resistant to going to school. You're worried about anxiety. You can sort of see it in the behavior. You sit down and you read the book. And those of you that may or may not be familiar with The Kissing Hand, a sweet mommy raccoon realizes that her little baby raccoon is nervous to go to school. So she sits down, she tells him a story, and before baby raccoon leaves to go to school, of course, raccoons go to school at night because, they're nocturnal, she kisses the paw of baby raccoon's hand and she says, "Mama loves you. Every time you miss me, remember how it feels that, my love goes from your head to your toes, that Mom, Dad, we're always here and we love you. And by the way, guess what? This kiss doesn't wash off ever. It doesn't fall out of their hand. It's there." I have children come into JK and their little hands are closed. And I think, oh my gosh, what are they hiding? And I said, "Did you read the book, The Kissing Hand?" And they just grin. So a great strategy for a 4-year-old. Would this work for an 11-year-old? Probably not. Again, ages and stages. For a child 5 or 6 years of age, you might want to help them focus on making friends. Maybe you notice they're a little anxious, about the new school you're starting, and they've started asking a lot of questions. Who will I know in my class? Or what if I don't know anyone? This is a great time to talk about the importance of including others. I can be a good friend is a great growth mindset. Not only can your child be a good friend to somebody else, but your child can also help others feel included. So the book, Will I Have a Friend, is a great book to read to help children develop empathy for others. It's also a wonderful opportunity to discuss different types of feelings, whether you're mad, sad, angry, anxious. I think it's really important that we, in this busy world of ours that's sort of overloaded with technology, that we put our phones down, give our children quality time, undivided attention, and really listen to their feelings. Often behavior is linked to these feelings, and it's really important that children link "my tummy hurts" with, "you know what, I'm feeling a little nervous," or "my head hurts" with, "I'm just not sure what's going to happen." The sooner we can do that, the better off they'll be. And again, why do you think your tummy's hurting? Why do you think your head's hurting? What can we do to help make it better? Again, there are times when they're sick, they need medicine, but try just gently probing and asking. And again, breathing, taking some deep breaths. I love starfish breathing. You have your child hold out his or her hand, sort of, all 5, I call it sort of turkey fingers, and you have them very gently and very slowly trace around each finger. So their hand looks like a starfish, and they can do the left one, and then they can do the right one. You might even do it more than once, but it really, really helps calming a child down. It helps calm me down when I'm doing it. So now, we're moving on to children ages 7 and 8. Children this age, 2nd, 3rd grade, they can focus on setting a specific goal. Maybe they want to read more each day. Or here's one, this never would have been me, at least not the fixed growth mindset me. How about practicing math facts daily? So you know what? They can set that goal, and instead of saying or thinking, "this is too hard," substitute, "this might take some time, but I'm going to get there." Again, you're looking at the glass half full versus half empty. And again, your child is going to come up with these goals. You're going to help guide him or her. I'm just sort of throwing them out as examples. Children 9, 10, and 11 can focus on learning more about the brain. And we know the more we use our brain and the more we stretch it and challenge ourselves, the stronger it grows. So it's a great time. One of my favorite books is called The Brain, and it's written for children. I'll have it on my resource list. And it talks in a very age-appropriate way about how the brain works and how you learn. And it helps the children understand the importance of learning new things, challenging themselves, and really getting out of their comfort zones. So I highly recommend that. And again, that'll be on your reading list. The results of a growth mindset speak for themselves. We want independent, nurturing children. We want problem solvers. We want innovative thinkers. I heard recently the other day that the jobs that our children will have in the future haven't even been created yet. So it's of the utmost important we give our children a broad skill set, and we really help them develop that growth mindset. And I love this by Seuss. You're a kid, you'll move mountains, you're off to great places. Today is your day, your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. So stop and think for a minute, what mountains do you think your child might have? How can you help coach and facilitate on the side those mountains getting moved, or at least shaking gently a little in a positive way? And Carol Dweck, again, the guru of growth mindset, says the best thing parents can do is to teach their children to love challenges, be intrigued by mistakes, enjoy effort, and keep on learning. You think to love challenges, that's doable. Be intrigued by mistakes. Again, mistakes as opportunities for growth and learning. Enjoy the effort and keep on learning. And I leave you with the thought, how will you help your child develop a growth mindset? What can you do or start doing tomorrow that you think might be helpful and might facilitate that? And again, you're going to get the talking points, so you'll have something to refer back to.